Hi, I'm OD, and today I've got something that I'm just about to get rid of, but in the process of selling a lot of my G1 Transformers or pre-G1 Transformers, I've realized that nobody else seems to have this. So this is Beet Vedam, who is the precursor to Deluxe Insecticon Ransack in G1. Beet Vedam actually has very different colors from Ransack and was part of the Beetras toy line, kind of bug pre-Transformers. As a line of toys, Beetras were really awesome. I mean, I got these quite a long time ago, 25 years ago maybe, I'm not quite sure. I always enjoyed them a lot. I enjoyed them more than I enjoyed the ordinary G1 Insecticons, partly because of the colors, but also they seem to have a higher production value to me. Even as a kid, I could tell that these see-through plastic wings and, you know, more kind of articulation, it just seemed higher quality. And at the time I never realized that it was because it was from Takatoku Toys, which is, I think, a different origin from the G1 Insecticons. But yeah, while they are a little bit fragile, they were definitely fun back in the day. I've never been a collector of variants or rare Transformers or anything like that. I just kind of get what I like. I had read over the last several years that this had not been produced, and I kind of jokingly always thought, yeah, not produced, but I've got it, so it obviously was produced. But yeah, as I said, going to sell this, people actually take it seriously that this wasn't produced, so I wanted to show this kind of for posterity that the toy does actually exist. Here's the logo stamped into the plastic, or molded into the plastic on the back of the bug. I can't read that, but I think it does say Takatoku Toys. I think that's their logo. So I don't know how exactly I came to own this, but apparently I do, so somebody else has probably got it out there too. And it'd be really interesting to find out once and for all how this was released, maybe in small quantities. The way I actually came to have this was via a family friend. I always collected Transformers from the very beginning, from 1984, but obviously as a kid I didn't have enough money or resources to get them myself, so I would ask other people to get them. And this family friend themselves had relations who were in the toy industry, and they had a small business and would sometimes import things. So this was imported directly from Japan, originally to be sold by those people, but through my friend came to me. So it's hard to say, were they the only ones who got a hold of this? I'm not quite sure, but it definitely was available to at least some retailers at that time. Otherwise I wouldn't be able to have it in my hand now. I'm going to perform a transformation. It is very old, so I'll be cautious when I do it, because sometimes the plastic on these guys gets very fragile over time. It's not that complicated, but it is a cool transformation. It's quite satisfying. You can see the feet there are going to flip out, and then the insect leg will form the heel of the foot like that. I mean, in a lot of ways this has elements that modern Transformers have. It's got I'm getting a bit stuck here, I don't want to force it. Got to be careful, I don't want to smash it before I sell it. So it's got ball joints on the hips, you can see in here, but they're metal sockets, like not sockets, metal balls. Now it does lack in some really important ways that a modern figure wouldn't. It's got no backwards and forwards swivel at the shoulder, so in a time like today, no one would dream of, that's alright. In a time like today, no one would dream of making a figure that doesn't have a shoulder that can swivel forward. But back then, in the 80s, like, a lot of toys had virtually no articulation, so to even have the level of articulation in the legs that this guy had was somewhat impressive. Now you can see on the face here that there is some paint. I did this when I was a kid. I used to do this to a lot of my toys. I didn't like the way it looked, so I painted that myself. It didn't come this way, and I'm guessing that anyone who's going to want to buy this is probably going to want to strip that paint off. Anyway, I had fun with this toy. This was a real toy, a toy that was played with, so hence the alterations. As far as weapons go, I'm pretty certain that this is the gun. I've had this the whole time, and it's the exact same plastic color, so I'm almost 100% sure that's his gun. From the pictures I found of this, I can't find a picture of the gun, so I don't really know. This thing has always been floating around with these figures. I'm not sure if this is his sword, but some of the other toys do have swords, like if you'll see this little axe that comes with one of them, and I think this shield was another one that came with one of them. So look, I'm not an expert, but I think this is his dagger. But obviously you can't really wield either of his weapons. You can only hold them at his sides like that, and that's because of the lack of forward motion in the shoulder again. The head, it looks like it can move, and it is on some kind of post in there, but I don't want to put any kind of excessive force in there and risk snapping it off. There's not much else to say about it, but I just wanted everyone to be able to see that it exists. Thanks for watching. I'm Adian. This is Beet Vedam. Catch you next time.